It's Bourbon Night. It's two Chads, one channel, and it's a new show.
And two barrels.
And two barrels.
Yeah.
We can't be between two barrels. Pursuit already took that.
Yeah, or firms.
We're behind two barrels. How about yeah, there we go. This is a new series, question mark. If you guys like it, it's Point, Counterpoint. This idea came to me in an organic way. It was through a text chain that I have with some bourbon drinking buddies, and Buddy sent me a link to Bourbon of the Week on Instagram, one of his videos.
Go follow him.
Yeah.
Where is all of the whiskey? In 2015, Buffalo Trace told me they were doing an expansion project worth $1.8 quadrillion, and everybody was going to have all of the Buffalo Trace whiskey that they wanted. And yet, here I am. I'm going to lean to the side here. You see any Pappy 23 up there? George T. Stagg? Anything like that? No, you don't. You know why? Because they're still not putting out any of those unicorns the way that they should, and it's always been a marketing project. That's all Buffalo Trace is, disguised as a whiskey company. Because what they should be doing, and I know what you're thinking, Chris, 2015, that's only 10 years ago. George T. Stagg is 15 years old. We've got Pappy 23, obviously 23 years old. Right? Wrong. What they should have been doing is putting the stuff in the new warehouse that they were going to need 4 or 5 years from now. The Buffalo Traces of the world, the benchmark lineup, the stuff that was already aging in those current warehouses, that should have sat there for another 10 years. That's what I should be drinking right now. Anything in that warehouse 10 years ago should still be in that warehouse today, being put out as George T. Stagg. You know what they're putting out instead? They're putting out like Millennium 2.0 and making it $10,000.
And I love to play devil's advocate anyway, so I started doing some counterpoints to that, and I was like, hey, this might be a good discussion.
Yeah, like Chad, I also like to argue, so I was very happy that he wanted to start a series where we could just argue. Whether it's for or against, I'll argue that the sky is not blue.
Either one of us could be for or against, so we're gonna let chance decide that. So I'm gonna flip this. If our challenge coin is on the IBN logo, I'm just gonna go ahead and call that, and that will be for defending Buffalo Trace.
Ooh.
Here we go. And it is the IBN logo, so that means I will be defending.
All right. I'll be anti-BT.
Pro Bourbon of the Week's argument.
Yes. I will be supporting my buddy Bourbon of the Week, who I've never met, but he is now my buddy because we're on the same team.
All right. Got my stuff, got your stuff. Who wants to start it?
You know what? I'll start it.
Okay.
Let me have a sip here, some liquid courage. So yeah, he posed the question, where is the whiskey? And I also agree, where is the whiskey? We are in 2025, we're over halfway through 2025, and the most allocated thing we can find from Buffalo Trace right now is Buffalo Trace. I mean, it's exciting that, we're seeing some things like Benchmark Foolproof on the shelf and Sazerac, but the most exciting thing that we can find on the shelf, with increased production, there should be more. We should be seeing more blends, some more Eagle Rare, some more Taylor. I don't even care if it's just small batch. We should be seeing more products from Buffalo Trace's baseline core lineup, or whatever they want to call it, but we're just seeing Buffalo Trace, and it's taken, 5, 6, 7 years to get here. I'm gonna throw it to you now, and tell me how Buffalo Trace is gonna make that better for me.
Chad, you ignorant bastard. First off, personal experience. Here in Kentucky, 2-3 years ago, you'd walk into a store, you would not see Buffalo Trace, you would not see Baby Saz, you would not see Benchmark Foolproof, or maybe even Top Floor, or some of those others. Now, here in 2025, I guarantee you 8 out of 10 stores that I walk into, those expressions that I mentioned are not only gonna be on the shelf, they're gonna be for retail, and they're gonna be sitting there. So how is that not more product on shelf? Yeah, you're talking about where's George T. Stagg, where's William LaRue Weller? Well, guess what? These places that aren't ABC states, they're still going to keep the price up, which is they're there, but you don't want to buy them because the price is too expensive. That's not Buffalo Trace's fault. That's the store owner's fault. I could take us to a store right now, and every expression from Buffalo Trace would be there. It's just you don't want to pay the price that they're asking, and I don't blame you, but they are there. That can't be held against Buffalo Trace.
So I'm gonna stop you right there. So because something that is sitting there from the last allocation season, which we're almost on for this year, September, October, November is allocation season. That's whenever, your Van Winkle drops, your BTAC drops. If stuff is still sitting at that store from last year, then yeah, that is the store's fault. But you named 3 products that we can find here in Kentucky, And you know what's one product, Chad, that I would love to not have to drive to Ohio or only grab whenever I go see my sister and brother-in-law and my family? Things like Weller Antique. It's a 6-year-old wheated bourbon, 6 or 7, whatever. And it's plentiful in Ohio, and I get it. You know, it's ABC state and they do all their stuff. But there's no reason why we shouldn't see more of that in Kentucky instead of like every 3 months. It should not be a quarterly drop product. Buffalo Trace right now is putting more products in their single barrel, the Sazerac Barrel Select lineup than what they have on the shelf. They just reopened up Elmer T. Lee, Rock Hill Farms, and they've been doing Blanton's Gold and Blanton Straight from the Barrel. And they're putting all these products into their lineup for single barrel picks that only drop in Kentucky twice a year. I just don't think it's fair, which I know life's not fair and no one deserves anything, but it's not great for the consumer mindset, which I'm a part of because it's bourbon. You should never forget the person you brought to the dance, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
well,
are you done?
Are you done?
Go
Are you done?
ahead.
Are you done?
Go ahead.
Are you done?
I'll take a sip.
Do that. Because you brought up a great point for me, and that's picks. I could take us, again, to a store right now where they have an Eagle Rare store pick. Not only just Eagle Rare, but the Eagle Rare store pick for the same price, pick or regular. Yeah, it's not retail, but again, you're going to find that based on popularity in a non-ABC state like Kentucky and other places. So picks are becoming more plentiful, and that is a result of the work the Buffalo Trace has done to get us to this point.
Is it? You know?
Yes.
No?
Yeah.
No? I
Yeah.
mean,
No, it is.
Is it a result of that?
Yeah.
Because as of right now, which, you know, what Bourbon of the Week pointed out in his video, and I'm gonna echo this, we don't need more 20-year plus Weller. We don't need this Millennium, this Centennial, or whatever they're putting out. We don't need $1,500 bottles. I mean, it is cool that, you know, we are seeing the first BTAC not in a wine bottle coming from Colonel Taylor, but we don't need a $1,500 bottle of BTAC. That is just saying that Buffalo Trace at that point says, hey, we could take all BTAC up to $1,500. We don't need $2,500 bottles of Weller. We just need $25 bottles of Weller. We can't find those. So they're putting so much effort into this high-end luxury program. And I get it. All alcohol is a luxury. What we do is a luxury. This is a luxury. But they're catering towards certain clientele who are only going to buy 1 or 2 bottles. And yes, that covers the cost of several cases for them. But you don't grow your market reach, and that's, like he said, Buffalo Trace is a marketing tool. It's a hype machine. Sazerac is the most award-winning parent company in the world, or whatever, yada, yada, yada. It still doesn't bring me any bourbon, you know? But people come to Kentucky, they think Buffalo Trace. They think Woodford Reserve. They think Old Forester. They think these heritage brands in Heaven Hill. But you know what sucks is I can't tell my family to go to Buffalo Trace and wait in line for 3 hours to maybe get something, because they're not going to go pay 3 or 4x around town. So at that point, it's just, why even bother? Why care? Like, now I'm thinking, why should I even argue for this? Because it's a moot point.
I'll tell you what's not a moot point, and that's whiskyambitions.com. It's where you can get the t-shirt and hat, the t-shirt that you're wearing, Chad, the crystal cut Glencairns.
And the challenge coins.
And the challenge coins that we flipped are all available there. Plus, we got a new batch of bottle cut candles. Hopefully it's there now. And more always coming soon. That's whiskyambitions.com.
And for as little as $1 a month, Chad, you can join Patreon, where you can support us and you get discount codes on the merch, like the hats, the glasses, and all that stuff. We don't have any water things here. You get first access to barrel picks. You can submit ideas for episodes, take part in polls, submit for questions, message in a bourbon bottle. We always pull from Patreon first for those, and so much more. And once again, that's patreon.com/bourbonnight.
Yeah. Also, another round with Chad Square.
Oh, another round. I always forget another round.
Just there as well.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a little break, and then I'm going to come back and hand Chad his ass. And welcome back. Last we heard, Chad rattled off something. I think he called it a moot point for some reason. It's not. Here's the other thing. This might hurt.
Aren't you supposed to be arguing for BT? Because you've done nothing but help me out. I'm just saying.
No. And now I was even going to say that yes, because I don't feel like it's the complete crux of the argument. The Weller Millennium, the $1,500 E.H. Taylor, yeah, that's not what we want to see. But here's the thing. You held the fact that Buffalo Trace is the most award-winning distillery against it. Like, yes, it hurts it from a consumer standpoint because it hypes it up. and that can be bad. Again, back to the store owners who are charging more for their products. But don't hold the fact that they make damn good whiskey against them. That is what we want. We want a distillery, and I can feel you wanting to talk. Shut up!
I'm not saying anything.
We want a distillery. I mean, our ideal thing would be for a distillery to be amazing, but under the radar, no one knows about it. But hey, guess what? That doesn't happen. Buffalo Trace, also not on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, which allows them to give you free tours. All their tours, and they've got like 20 of them. They got a bunch. They're all free.
That's not true. Some of them are paid.
Majority of them are free. And that's because they don't have to pay into the Kentucky Bourbon Trail membership. They do things for their customers. The fact that they're the most popular, you take the prettiest girl or guy, depending on your situation, to the prom, and then you're mad or questioning why everyone wants to dance with them. It's like, this is the most award-winning distillery. Yeah, they're gonna have some hype. Yeah, they're gonna do things like Macallan is doing with super expensive bottles. But some distilleries won't want to do that because they're worried about their reputation. Others lean into it, like Michter's 20, Michter's Celebration. I don't hear people like, oh, why are they doing this? Because their products are so amazing. And so are the breadth of Buffalo Trace as well. Just because they're popular and places are charging more for it doesn't mean that they aren't putting more product on the shelf. And it's going to take some time for those older aged ones to filter down.
So speaking of Michter's, you know why people don't complain about Michter's? It's because you can find all 4 of their core things on the shelf at all times. Always there. You got small batch, rye, sour mash whiskey, unblended American whiskey. Now the 10-year stuff, we know it drops, we know when it drops, and we know there's usually a good chance of finding it.
Cask strength's also hard to find.
Cask strength, the rye, the bourbon, toast, that kind of stuff, those are a little bit harder to find, but they don't put those out all the time. And they just do limited drops when they do.
Yeah.
Yes, you brought up a good point there about how stuff is sitting. Well, if the market has stabilized, even if you are the world's most award-winning Kentucky bourbon distillery, why are we still fighting for allocations? Why are allocations still a thing? I get it. Saz is sitting around. Benchmark foolproof. Benchmark was allocated when it first came out. We didn't even have it in Kentucky for a year. Why would you not put a $20 bottle in the state that you're in? It's gonna make money, it's gonna sell. Like, if they're really that worried about it, like overproduction, they shouldn't have put the product out, which is 99% of what they do is not put out products that they know will sell, or at least not where you think they would. Yes, bourbon is still growing, sales are still up, but the market has stabilized as far as the way things are selling. They've doubled their capacity or tripled or whatever their 1 quadrillion expansion was. They have more warehouses, they're doing more things that they can do to put more stuff out. We're in 2025, and in 2020 I was told that they would have basically the core lineup on the shelf for the most part, and then everything would be there by 2030. But we're just now seeing Buffalo Trace. If that's all that's going to come out, and that's all that's going to be on the shelf, then I mean, what's kind of the point in caring until we know it's there? It would be nice to, Blanton's is a really, really great giftable bottle. It'd be nice to go find a bottle of Blanton's, not have to search 20 stores for, a Father's Day gift or a Christmas gift or a Taylor small batch. But that's just not a thing. And you know what? They're all about the same age. Buffalo Trace, 7 to 8 years. Blanton's, 4 to 5 years. Taylor, 6 to 7 years. Why are they so hard to find? If it's all the same stuff, all the same age, why don't they just put more of it out?
Who's to say that they aren't? And they are, because you brought up a lot of good points for me. Yes, they've expanded so much. They are utilizing other Sazerac partners in Kentucky, so it's not just what they can distill at Buffalo Trace. There's other Kentucky partners that are helping them do that. And I feel like your argument keeps going back to, well, where are they? Where are they? You're blaming the distillery when you should be blaming the people who go to the store and snatch it up. Some places don't have a limit one. It takes time for the market to adjust. Someone who doesn't go to a liquor store every week or every other week, maybe once a month or once every quarter, goes into a store, they see Buffalo Trace, they see Eagle Rare, they might see Blanton's, whatever it is. If it's not limit one, they're snatching it up because they're still in that mindset. It's going to take time for people to readjust their habits. Right now, their habit is hoard anything Buffalo Trace because it's limited, or they want to try to flip it. Again, not the distillery's fault, the consumer's fault, because they are voting with their dollars and their Facebook groups or whatever it is where you can flip things. That's why Buffalo Trace had to do scan your driver's license for certain bottles to cut down on flipping, because people would just go to the gift shop every day, every week, and get things and then resell it. So they had to crack down on that. They're trying to help you and I get these bottles, but it's our mentality, it's our habits that need to be adjusted.
No. No.
You can't just say no.
Yeah, no, I can just say no because gimme. Yes, we're all a bunch of whiny bourbon boys.
Yes.
We are.
Yes.
We're all a bunch of whiny bourbon boys.
Yes.
But I'm still talking about the growth and expansion and the product availability. We can't keep going back to like the three brands or what's available at the distillery. As far as we can only see, Kentucky's the only thing that exists as far as we're concerned right now, because that's all. We live in Lexington. We only have so many places we can go. If we were to hit 20 stores today, yes, we might see the three things we've been talking about.
And we would.
And we might see the super allocated stuff from last allocation season. That's on the store.
We would.
But we're not going to see. We probably wouldn't see one bottle from the Weller lineup at retail anywhere. We wouldn't see a Blanton's at retail anywhere.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. The expansion of that lineup. There doesn't need to be like an accountability specter, but there needs to be some way of making someone interested again. Because as of right now, I'm just not interested in finding anything Buffalo Trace. It's fine that I'm glad that there are those products there for people to go buy, but if everyone's snatching it up and we're still seeing the same stuff sitting, then there's just no excitement there. Yes, they're the most award-winning whatever on products we can't get and can't find. But if I can't go out and look for something, even if it takes me a couple hours to find it at a decent price, why should I even care about anything else they're doing?
You shouldn't, but that's not the argument. The argument is whether Buffalo Trace is at fault for this. And the answer is no, they're not. They're doing their part. They've spent their quadrillions of dollars to up production, and there's just more of a demand than people realize. They're getting it on the shelves, but people just aren't showing up in that small window of time, and they're still hoarding it and they're still selling it, and the market just hasn't corrected for that. Now, you brought up Buffalo Trace, Blanton's. Blanton's is a little bit of a monster the Buffalo Trace made by their own design. They sort of painted themselves into the corner, and another video we could talk about how maybe they might be cutting some corners to fulfill that. But Warehouse H is the only warehouse, and that holds what, 20,000 barrels?
55 or 58,000 barrels.
Okay, bigger than I thought.
It's also where all their single barrel picks are aged.
Yeah, exactly. That one warehouse is the only place where you can get Blanton's from. Yeah, We're not going to get into that because that's going to be off topic. But that sort of can explain Blanton's. The other one's E.H. Taylor. Yeah, but I could take us to a place where, let's think of our last bourbon hunting challenge video. We found a place in Nicholasville, Kentucky, where it was, what was it, $59 for a small batch, when I feel like retail is around $45. I mean, yeah, that's one out of the 6 or 7 that we went to, but you can find them. It is annoying that you have to put in the work, but until it's 2030, and hopefully the supply has reacted and consumer habits have adjusted, then we're gonna have to put in a little more work. But that's, again, not Buffalo Trace Distillery's fault.
Yes, it is.
Good counterpoint. I think that's my points. Yeah, Dave Letterman. So now's a part where you guys have to tell us who won this.
Who won?
Yeah. Who's next? If you guys remember epic rap battles of history. Yeah, down in the comments, you need to tell us which Chad you think won. A Chad won today, though.
A Chad. You know what? I'll tell you what, Chad.
A Chad won this debate. A Hobbit lay here. A Chad debate here. Let us know, Chad Perkins, Chad Watson, who won this debate. Not an argument, a spirited debate. And then next episode, seeing if you like this or not, we will award that person an award for winning that debate before we do the next debate.
Yeah.
Also, if you got ideas for debates,
send them.
Yeah, let us know. Do idea for debate, in the comments. Yep. Start your comment that way.
Or send an email to itsbourbonnight@gmail.com and put ideas for debate as a subject line. And yeah, we would love to argue against each other.
Debate.
Whatever.
All right, well, that's where we better leave it. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to us already, you can do so by clicking right up here. There's suggestions of other videos down here. Hope to see you over there in one of those. And until next time, drink more bourbon.